Man, this Chargers schedule is wild. Like, if you're trying to figure out how the NFL really feels about the Chargers, just take one look at what they threw at this team for 2025. It's aggressive. It's kind of unfair in spots. And it's going to tell us real fast who this team actually is under Jim Harbaugh. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. So, the season starts with a bang. And not just a regular bang. We're talking international, primetime, Friday night football in Brazil against the Chiefs. That's right. The Chargers are flying all the way to São Paulo to open the season against the Super Bowl runner-up in the first NFL game ever broadcast live and free on YouTube. That's history. That's pressure. That's a massive stage for a team that's still trying to find its identity with a new head coach. And not only is this the first time the Chargers have opened the season outside the U.S., but it also makes them the first NFL team ever to play on 5 different continents. That's not nothing. I mean, these guys have played in London, Mexico City, Tokyo, Berlin, Sydney, and now São Paulo. Honestly, it's kind of insane how global their travel history is. Cool start, sure. But that kind of travel adds up, and it's not like the league gave them a breather after this one. Right after Brazil, it's Monday Night Football in Vegas. Week 2, Chargers Raiders. Lights on, stakes high, short week after long travel. And then Week 3, home opener at SoFi against the Broncos. That's 3 straight AFC West games to start the season. The first time the Chargers have done that since 1988, and the first time any NFL team has started like that since the Saints in 2022. So basically, you've got no runway here. You either show up and start swinging, or you're buried early. And this stretch, it matters a lot. Because if you start 2-1 or somehow 3-0 through those division games, you're suddenly in control. You're setting the tone for the entire AFC West race. But if you go 1-2 or, God forbid, 0-3, you're in a hole, and good luck climbing out of that with the schedule they've got lined up. After the Week 3 home game, the Chargers hit the road again, this time all the way to New York, for a Week 4 matchup with the Giants. That's the first of 3 East Coast trips this year. Then they come back home for Week 5 against the Commanders and head right back east again for Week 6 in Miami. That's 2 round trips across the country in 3 weeks. And keep in mind, they already flew halfway around the world for Week 1. It's no wonder the Chargers are set to lead the league in total air miles this season. Over 37,000 miles. That's more than anyone. And not just by a little, it's over 2,000 miles, more than the next closest team, which just happens to be the Rams. Oh, and they're crossing over 40 time zones too. I don't care how good your sleep schedule is, that's going to wear on you, especially if you're thin at key positions, especially late in the season when the hits start piling up. But the NFL did give the Chargers a little bit of a break here and there. For starters, they finally got a bye week that makes sense. Week 12. After back-to-back seasons with a Week 5 bye, which is way too early, they get to push it late this year. That means they'll go through 11 straight games, take a breath, and then reset for the final 6. That's a real edge if you're healthy heading into that window. And they're going to need that rest because the November stretch is huge. Week 9, they go to Tennessee. Then it's a big one. Week 10, Sunday Night Football against the Steelers at SoFi. Week 11, they head to Jacksonville, a team that's still trying to figure itself out but has a ton of talent. Then the bye. And after that, Week 13, they're back home to host the Raiders. That's a 4-game stretch with 2 home games, 2 road games, and a whole lot of playoff implications. You mess around and drop 3 of those, you might not recover. But if you go 3-1, maybe even run the table, you set yourself up for a real shot at a playoff spot, especially if you've already banked a couple division wins. And then we get to December, where the whole thing could come crashing down or go to another level. Week 14 is nasty. You've got the Eagles coming into town on Monday Night Football. These are the defending champs. They're built tough, they play physical, and they're the type of team the Chargers are supposed to be measuring themselves against now. This is your chance to prove something on a national stage, at home, under the lights, late in the year. If you win that game, people take you seriously, but don't get too comfortable. Because right after that, in Week 15, the Chargers are back on the road. Arrowhead, Chiefs, on a short week. That's just brutal. This will be the 3rd straight season the Chargers have had to go to Kansas City late in the year with basically no rest. It hasn't gone well the last 2 times. This time, we'll see if Harbaugh's culture is built for it. Speaking of Harbaugh, this whole schedule feels like a test of what he brings to the table. The guy's known for toughness, structure, building a team that doesn't flinch. Well, the NFL gave him a schedule that's going to demand all of that. No warm-ups, no cupcakes, just pressure, early and often. One spot that might help? Week 8 against the Vikings. That's a Thursday night game at home, which means a mini-bye right afterward, before the team travels to Tennessee. And that Vikings matchup is going to have a fun subplot too. Probably J.J. McCarthy starting for Minnesota, facing off against the coaching staff that helped him win a national title at Michigan. Harbaugh, Jesse Minter, and a few others were all there. So there's familiarity, sure, but also pride. Nobody wants to be the coach who gets beat by their former guy on primetime. And here's a little detail that could actually matter down the stretch. After the Jacksonville game in Week 11, the Chargers won't leave Los Angeles again until December 14th. That's almost a full month with no flights, no time zone changes. Week 12 is the bye. Week 13 and Week 14 are both home games. So that's a real window to recharge, get guys healthy, and maybe make a late season push. But again, only if you've done the work beforehand. One of the more overlooked parts of this schedule is how many playoff teams the Chargers have to face. 9 games against teams that made the postseason last year. That's not ideal when you're trying to rebuild culture and confidence. But here's the flip side. A lot of those games are at home. The Texans, Eagles, Commanders, Steelers, and Vikings, and all of them are coming to SoFi. If you're going to win games like that, you do it in your own building. They also close the season in Denver, which could end up being a huge game. It's been a while since the Chargers ended their year against the Broncos, and even longer since they did it on the road. All time, the Chargers are 9-6 in season finales against Denver. That's solid, but let's be real. Playing at that altitude in January in what could be a win-and-you're-in situation, that's no joke. Also, quick note on firsts. The Texans and Colts will both be making their first ever trips to SoFi Stadium to play the Chargers. That feels like it should have happened already, but it's true. They haven't played at that stadium since it opened in 2020. And the Chargers are sticking with the Monday Night Football trend too. They'll be in that slot twice again this year. That Week 2 game in Vegas, and then the Week 14 clash with the Eagles. This'll be the 4th straight season, with 2 Monday night games for them. The NFL clearly likes having them in that window. So yeah, this schedule, it's no joke. It's going to tell us real quick what this team is made of. From the international travel to the brutal December stretch to 5 primetime games, all of them carrying real weight. There's no room for missteps. If Harbaugh is building something real here, we'll know by Week 10. If he's not, well, this schedule won't let him fake it. Let me know what part of this schedule you think is the biggest trap. Is it the early travel? That Eagles-Chiefs double punch in December? Or that division-heavy start? I want to hear what you think. And if you made it this far, you already know, we're going to be breaking down every angle of this season all year long. Catch you in the next one.